We live in an era where social media and the constant flow of information literally control our time. Time that could be spent on development, meditation, or learning is wasted on mindless scrolling. Stoics taught us the importance of managing our attention. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and philosopher, wrote, "What you see and hear will influence your thoughts. Be careful about what you allow into your mind." Addiction to social media is becoming a real problem because it affects us much deeper than it may seem at first glance. We begin living other people's lives, following their successes, which leads us to constantly compare ourselves to others. As a result, our self-esteem drops and false expectations are created. Social media becomes not only a means of connection, but also a source of advertising and marketing that manipulates our desires and needs. So how can we deal with social media addiction? The first step is to realize how much time we spend on it. Use time tracking apps like Screen Time on iPhone or Digital Wellbeing on Android to monitor how much time you spend on social media. This is the first step in recognizing the problem. The Stoics taught that we must be masters of our time and attention. Seneca wrote, "Time is what we lose but can still be happy with." We need to set boundaries and understand that time is a limited resource. For example, you could decide to check social media only twice a day, in the morning and evening, and eliminate it from your life at other times. Another method for combating addiction is refraining from constant consumption of information. The Stoics believed that we need to clear our minds of unnecessary noise. Instead of reading all the news, try selecting only those topics that are genuinely beneficial for your development. This will help you avoid information overload and focus on more important things. After all, our thoughts and perceptions of the world are directly influenced by what we allow into our minds. The Stoics advised limiting the amount of information we consume so we aren't constantly bombarded by external distractions. It is essential to realize that, first and foremost, we are responsible for how we spend our time and what fills our minds. Procrastination and addiction to social media are two enemies that can steal our time and hinder our ability to truly develop. However, like any habits, these can be changed if approached with awareness and determination. Understanding the importance of time and attention is crucial in overcoming these addictions. The Stoic perspective on these issues reminds us that inner peace and purpose come not only from what we do, but from how we control external influences. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "No one can take your time unless you allow it." We must learn to be the masters of our lives, not letting external factors control our decisions. There are practical steps we can take to return to reality and reduce our dependence on social media. In addition to using time tracking apps, you can start keeping a journal, noting how much time you spend on social media each day. This not only helps track your progress, but also forces you to think about how you truly use your time. Instead of spending precious hours mindlessly scrolling through news feeds, try developing the habit of reading books or listening to lectures that develop your mind and expand your horizons. The Stoics always emphasized the importance of self-education and striving for truth. They taught that every moment we spend should be meaningful and productive, so we can move forward and become the best versions of ourselves. It is also essential to recognize that social media can not only negatively impact our attention, but also our mental state. Constant comparisons to others can lead to feelings of inadequacy or envy. In such situations, it is important to remind ourselves that each person is on their own journey, and what we see on social media is only a fragment of someone else's life, often edited and artificially enhanced. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us to focus on our inner state and be independent of external factors. They understood that true freedom comes through accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what is within our power. Rather than striving for external achievements and idealized images of success, we should work on our inner world, improve our perceptions, and develop the ability to live with intention. To this end, we can practice self-reflection and gratitude. Set aside time each day to assess your accomplishments, thank yourself for the steps you've taken, and prepare for the next day. Such simple practices not only help cultivate inner peace, but also provide the strength to keep moving forward. You can also turn to meditation or mindfulness practices to reduce stress and regain the ability to focus. Ultimately, it is important to remember that social media and information are tools that, like any tool, can be